Hi guys, this is Mrs. Baum, and here is your journal page for adding the same sign. So this should be on the page that is on the back of your graphing inequalities. So in my journal, it is going to be 5, 3, 6, 3, 7. This is going to be page 38. So it should be on a left-hand side because you guys are going to do adding with different signs on the right-hand side. So anyway, at the top, I would like for you to write adding same sign. So this means a positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative. Okay, so as you know from our lesson, the first step is you're just going to add as usual. So if you have $5 and you get $5, those are both positive fives. If you owe me $5 and then you owe somebody else $5, those are both negatives. So you're going to add as usual, and you're going to keep the sign. So if your numbers were positive that you were adding, it's going to be positive. If they were negative, it's going to be negative. So a positive plus a positive equals a positive, and a negative plus a negative equals a negative. Make sure you're writing all this down, and if you need to pause so that you can write, go ahead and do that. Okay, now we're going to do some examples together. So you need to have these examples done in your journal and show them to me in order to move on to the next step. So our first example is -5 plus 20. So I'm going to add them as usual. 5 plus 20 equals 25. And since they were both negative, my answer is going to be -25. Don't forget that negative sign. It's really, really important. In fact, I could even write it down below so that I can make sure my answer is pretty clearly stated. Okay, number 2. Our integer rules apply even when we're talking about fractions. So it says adding integers, but we know fractions aren't integers. So we're going to say adding rational numbers with negatives. So when I've got these two, I know that it's going to be a negative because they're both negative. So I'm going to just add as usual. I'm going to add 3 plus 2 and 1/4. So I know I add my whole numbers together, and I don't have a fraction on this guy, so I know it's 3 plus 2 is 5, and then my 1/4. And since they were both negative, that's going to be a negative. So my answer is going to be -5 and 1/4. And if my 3 had a fraction with it, I would follow my same fraction rules. Maybe I would have to do a common denominator. Maybe I would have to do some regrouping. Either way, the rules with the positives and negatives stay the same. Okay, now here's a really tough one for us. +6 plus +7. Well, we all know 6 plus 7 equals 13. And since they were both positive, my answer is 13. I can write 13. I can write +13. Either or is fine as long as it doesn't have a negative sign. All right, number 4. Oh, decimals. Okay, so we're going to do our same adding, and I know that they're both positive, so this is going to give me a positive answer. I should be paying attention to that as I'm adding, just because I want to make sure that that I'm doing my correct calculation, but also paying attention to those rules. Now, for me, when I have problems like this, I would rather stack them, which is totally an okay thing to do. And whenever I have one that has a decimal, I always put that one on top, and then I match it up like that. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 plus 8 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 5. So my answer, and they're positive, my answer is 50 and 1/2. All right, make sure you have all of this on your journal page before you come check it in. Thanks so much for playing along.